Hey, my name's James Nicholson. In this video, I'm going to talk about the September 2022 property crash. Has it started? Yes or no? Stick around because you're going to find out everything you need to know today. Now, I'm James Nicholson. As I said, I'm a property investor and I'm currently building out my portfolio. And I want to invite you guys along for the journey with me to find out the good, the bad and the ugly about property investing. I'm building a portfolio for my two girls. Georgia, who's 21. We've got two deals so far this year, and my little baby Amelie. And so how you can join us on the journey to find out how it all goes is to take that finger of power, spin it round and smash that subscribe button over there, guys, and hit the bell notification. Go on, do it now. You've got nothing to lose. I'll wait while you do that. Smash that subscribe button, guys. Now, house prices, have they started to crash? Well, the truth is we won't know because data lags massively when it comes to property. But I want to share with you some indication that the market has very likely got to start slowing down. It is not possible. Now, some data just came out this week from Land Registry that the annual house price increase, this gobsmacked me, is 17% now. 17%, which is insane. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. That's crazy, right? So London has gone up on average 9%. Some areas of the country have gone up more than 20%. But on average, it's 17% between July 2021 and July 2022. Now, that indicates that we cannot continue to have house prices rising at that pace. But there is also some indicators that are going to show that potentially if we were going to have a crash, that maybe it's not going to be as bad as we were, maybe some people were hoping, some people were predicting, right? And so the reason for that is inflation has actually started to come down. Not much, we're still at the 9%, but we were predicting it could go to 22% by the winter, right, by January really. Now, one thing that's potentially going to help curb that inflation a bit is obviously our new Prime Minister, Liz Truss, has put a cap on energy at £2,500. Now, that means that there's now some certainty, and I think we've got that. Is it 2 years or 1.5 years? Someone can tell me in the comments. You guys are better at knowing that stuff than me for sure, but it's a year or two, right, that we've got it confirmed, and hopefully by that period the world would be much more peaceful, let's just say that, which looks possible, right? It looks like the Ukrainians are doing some good stuff over there and gaining back their land, and maybe the war will come to an end. Fingers crossed for everyone involved, right? And so what that does give is people some more certainty, right? So if you know you've got to get £100 extra for your energy bill, or maybe £200, at least you now know that, and you can work, how can I cut back here? What can I do to earn some extra income? And so certainty is a very, very important thing. Also, unemployment is continuing to drop as well. Now, we also just somehow managed to avoid a recession. And so we've had some slight growth in the last quarter. And so that means that we're not going to be plunging into a recession like we were expecting, although it might feel like we're in a recession and people are cutting back on consumer spending and stuff like that. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So having some inflation coming down a little bit is helping everybody, right? And that's a good thing. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I've said in the last few months that I think that the market is definitely going to cool off for sure, right? And we've seen that with August prices only going up like 0.1%. And stuff like that, right? And so when we're only going up by these small margins, then obviously the annual figure soon is going to start coming down, because if you have that every month, you're not even going to grow 1% in a year. And so I think the market is definitely cooling down. I'm speaking to agents and speaking to mortgage brokers all the time. And so the belief is that, well, the facts are, mortgage brokers I've spoken to said new purchases are definitely down for sure. Estate agents, they talk up a good game, but they're admitting it a bit more now. But so that's a potential problem there as well. So the market will slow down. Will it have a correction? It's still possible, right? Maybe not this year, but I think next year the market could drop 5%. Does that make a big difference for property investors? Well, I don't think it should. I think everyone that I meet that wants to invest in property, one thing that they say is holding them back is they want the market to crash. Well, if it does crash, then jump in and get some cheaper properties. But what you should be doing is probably buying deals that you're getting below market value anyway. So looking at deals from auctions, looking at deals from probate, looking at people that just need to sell quickly because they're in a chain and maybe the sale's fallen through. Or there's a ton of landlords out there that are struggling because of Section 24, which I've covered in other videos. But basically that means that they own a buy-to-let property in their personal name. And because of that, the new tax rules are very, very expensive for them. So they might have been making £500 a month profit on a buy-to-let, and now they make zero profit on that buy-to-let. It's a big, big difference. And so there's tons of landlords that want to get rid of stock and properties just to get rid of that liability. And you can come along and set it up properly as a limited company and buy and pay very low tax on that investment. So there are going to be some really, really good opportunities. I don't think it matters whether the market's going up or down. I think what's more important is that you buy a property, you get a deal that works for you, you fix the interest rate for as long as you can. 5 years is what I would recommend. And then that gives you the certainty that every single month you're going to make cash flow on that property. One thing that is very, very buoyant at the moment is rent. We just bought, my daughter and Georgia and myself, we bought a property in Dorking. It's a flat. It's probably the worst deal I've ever had, which you should go and check out the video I made on that, because that sounds like a weird thing to say. Why are you buying a deal if it's so bad? Well, watch the video, which you can see in my playlists, and you'll find out why, right? It's titled something like, "Is this the worst deal I've ever got?" Right? Now, that property is a one-bedroom flat, tiny little one-bedroom flat with a garden. And when we bought it, the mortgage company said that we would only get £900 rent, right? And so we said that we would get £1,000 rent. That's what we were told by an estate agent, that we would get £995. They said you'd get £895. So then they reduced the amount of money that they would lend me. That meant that we had to come up with, it was around £8,000 extra as a deposit. To make the numbers stack, which isn't ideal. I don't really like doing that. Another reason why that deal wasn't so good for me. But then here's the thing. When I've just rented it out today, I've just got the confirmation on that at £1,100, which is the market rate for that kind of property at the moment. So the mortgage company are totally wrong. In fact, I could have probably put in, because they would have lent me more, if they'd have put it at 1,100, I probably could have put less 15 grand less in as a deposit, which is interesting, right? But the good news is when we refinance that one down the line, obviously the rent will be higher, and so we'll be able to pull out more money. It's easier when you've already got a tenant, right? And so the market may go down, rents are still going up, interest rates are still very low as well. That's another thing that I haven't covered here. So interest rates are still very historically low. They're rising, but they are low. They're not going to start going up at a crazy rate. Like, we're not going to expect the Bank of England in a week or so to start going, yeah, it's 5% up or 4% up. They're going to go up in like 0.5% increments at most. Because another good sign for them is the inflation is starting to ease a little, so maybe they don't need to act as aggressively as they were hoping. Look, that's it. I just thought I'd cover that video for you. Is the market going to crash in September? No, it's not. The market is 17% up annually, which I think is bonkers. It's probably going to slow down, but famous last words, everyone thought there was going to be a crash in the pandemic, and that didn't happen either. But I think very sure it is 100% going to slow down. Should that stop you investing? No, you should be going out and finding good deals. It doesn't matter whether the market's going up, down or sideways. There are always good deals in the market, and that's what you need to get good at finding and buy those investments. I'm James. As I said, if you want to go and see that video about the worst investment I've ever bought, which is the flat I've just bought, check it out. It's on the channel. And also go and check out this video right here. Bye for now.